Continuing, as for me, I slipped into a great void of darkness. Now, unfortunately, I had guided a lot of people through a great void of darkness, so I immediately knew what to do. I looked for the light. I remember I had to speed up my velocity in order to find it without getting lost. Then I saw a sort of spinner of light swirling in the darkness. I dove in and traveled what appeared to be some distance through a sort of tunnel until finally I came out into a magnificent valley covered with a field of flowers. It was so beautiful, with colors so engulfing, and it was surrounded by a great forest of trees and mountains reaching stark naked into a bright blue sky. At the same time I could sense that Sandy was getting very nervous. I could see her clearly from the field of flowers, and could sense every thought and feeling she was going through. I tried to tell her I was okay, but my words came out of my physical mouth very, very slowly. As a result, I said them several times, and each time they still came out very slowly. All the while I was totally at peace in the field of flowers. It was something like the field in the mountains above Ufa in Russia. Total oneness. I was surrounded by the most loving and intelligent environment I had ever experienced. As I looked around, the valley was surrounded by glorious mountains, and I saw a few billowing white clouds off to one side. Then gathered around me I could sense the presence. In almost no time there appeared more than one presence. Finally the field turned into a crowd of beings. These beings were so loving, so appreciative, and so totally embraced of me being that I knew at once I was completely accepted. I was one of them, and they were one with me. Then I realized that this was my family. This crowd of beings was made up of all my ancestors and my progenitors, ones that haven't been born yet. Beyond all others, these were my beings of the covenant. It was so beautiful, so complex, yet so simple and so magnificent that I was almost overcome with joy. Then a voice came from my family explaining, "We want you to go back." It was such a loving voice, but I, who had struggled for so long, did not want to go back. I explained, "I do not want to go back. Why should I?" They unfolded to me then a panoramic of the entire history of life on the planet. I saw the formation of the galaxies and the creation of the earth and the emerging of life and its development. I saw the biosphere and the balancing of life. I saw the emerging of human life and the development of consciousness. I watched as multitudes of humanity spread across the planet, and I saw the future. They took me into a future that was filled with conflict and how the balance of life was almost overthrown. "We want you to go back," they said. It was not a command or a pleading. It was a statement of total love. Why? I wanted to know. Why would you want me, so afflicted with this handicap, to go back? But the voice persisted. "We want you to balance the biosphere and to love those around you." I knew then that I would come back, but still my doubts persisted. "I want you to help me," I pleaded. "How can I balance the biosphere? That is a job too great for any one person. I couldn't possibly imagine how I could even begin to accomplish such a task." Then deep within the field of the covenant came back the words, "We will make it easy for you." With this renaissance, I agreed to come back. It was my impression that I had been gone for many days, but as I focused back through the tunnel of light, I could see that Sandy was still holding my hand in her lap, and she still had her hand on my heart. I was still trying to talk to her and reassure her when she bent forward to better hear my words, and curl of her hair caught in my nose. The tickle of her hair caused an immediate reaction in my body. I jerked backward, and as I did so, I grabbed her hand and literally pulled myself back through the tunnel into my body. I grasped for air, and my heart began to beat. For a few minutes I could not move. I lay there immobile until finally I found my voice. "I'm okay," I whispered. Her eyes were still extra wide, and I laughed that her hair had actually helped bring me back. That movement came back into the left side of my body. My right side was paralyzed, so I could not get up or walk. I got to check on my bird. Sorry to make this tape so short, but